You've heard the saying, it's time for Africa, and now it really is. 15 countries gather from all over Africa to compete in one of the biggest youth events on the continent. The African Youth Chess Championship will be taking place from the 15th to the 23rd of June in Johannesburg, one of South Africa's finest cities. These are the countries that will be joining us: Angola, Botswana, Egypt, Eswatini, Kenya, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritania, Namibia, Nigeria, South Africa, Tunisia, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. And here are your commentators, Ansel Lopsher and yours truly, Jessie February. Get ready for an action-packed week filled with game analysis, interviews, fun activities, and more. The championship will be broadcasted live on YouTube and Twitch. Don't miss out.
So this is our time to shine. Chess is for all. It belongs to all in South Africa. I was on TV once and my dad said I should get off.
I don't think you're allowed to sit on your television. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing fantastically. As you can see, I am alone today, but it doesn't mean that I will not be joined this afternoon. I know there's a little bit of an echo. I'm in a completely different room. They moved me. I was evicted from my home, which was Marula 1. I'm now in Marula 4. And I hope you guys are doing fantastically. I am ready for the games, and I've already seen the players hall and the aura when kids are sitting down getting ready for the games. And all the parents are sort of ushered out of the hall, told to get lost. But, you know, that's when the kids can sit back and, you know, calm down, take a deep breath. Because I think that, you know, having someone there alongside you, even though they're your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, they're stressing just as much as you are. And you sort of want to be in your element. You want to calm down. You just want it to be you, the board. Maybe sometimes you can look at your opponent, but really it's just you and the game you love. So hope you guys are ready for today. Hello everyone. Hi. I will be reading chat a little bit more today, just because, or this morning rather than this afternoon, because I am alone in the studio. So I need some conversation. I need you guys to prompt some good topics, some good old topics. So if you're watching from far and wide, or you're watching from this venue, please do say hello in the chat. I see all the chat messages. And thank you so much. I won't be naming you guys by name, but I see all your messages and I will be reading them out as I go. And yes, I am awake, though it might take about 3 coffees for me to fully wake up my one brain cell that remains. But I've only had 1 coffee so far. So I'll take some breaks. And we also have an interview coming up, though this interview was pre-recorded. It is with the tournament director, Sean Leviton, who has made all of this possible for us. And he's worked tirelessly right until the last second. And he's still walking around, running around, trying to make sure everything is perfect. And just outside the playing hall, we also have some photographers setting up a little studio. So I don't know if you guys saw the amazing backdrop. I'll try to record some footage just so you guys can see what it looks like around the playing venue and the parents sort of sitting eagerly waiting for the kids to jump out of the playing hall. Because like we know, not all the games are live. And even though some of the games are live, they're not exactly transmitted live. There's a bit of a buffer. There's a 15-minute move delay. So you're waiting for moves to come through, and maybe a kid is running out and you don't know the result yet just because you're only going to see those moves 15 minutes later. So yeah, good luck to the players playing, and those of you who have already finished, either congratulations or better luck next time. But it's okay because it is a competition. We win, we lose, we learn, and so on. But I hope you guys are doing fantastically this morning. The one thing I am lacking is a little bit of a water or a coffee or a Coke Zero, as we all know that I love to drink on stream. And hi, good morning. Joe, is it not like super duper early for you, or rather very late? Which one is it? Good to see you in chat, and good to see everyone else. Familiar names, familiar faces. If you're on YouTube, welcome. I don't often stream on YouTube, but this is a special occasion because it is the African Youth Chess Championship, and we have just entered the second round of it. And here we have the Players Hall. I think we are overlooking the under 12 girls section. And I'm going to try and look for their names as well. But we have here, I'm going to take a look and I'm going to let you know. Alrighty. Or is it the under 10 girls? It could very well be the under 10 girls. Let's see, chess.com. Thank you so much for chess.com for setting it up on the event, on the events page, and so that we have the games live. And yeah, let me check out to see if it is in fact the under 10. Because they look kind of young, don't they? The under 10 girls. I think it is. I think it is. Let me just see. It's not. Maybe you guys can let me know which section we're actually looking over today. Perhaps it is, perhaps it is not. Anyway, we will have someone behind the scenes trying to find out who and what's happening. Give me one moment. Alrighty. Let me just check. I'll be right back because I feel like it's gonna irk me and that I don't know. So give me 1 second. Okay, so I did some research. I have my chess results open. It is in fact the under 10 girls, so I was correct in saying. And they look so young. Look how cute they are. And they're moving quite fast. That's why I wanted to start going live as soon as possible, just because I saw that they were moving quickly. I still needed to eat breakfast and have my first coffee, so I ran off. I left the camera on. And yeah, maybe we can also pull up the game real quick. I'll try and look for the game so that we can see what's happening on the board. Give me 1 moment. Yeah. Under 10 girls. There we have it. There we have it. I think that is correct. Yes, it is. And the one girl's getting up there. So we have Chimboza Elizabeth versus Riley. So Chimboza's from Zimbabwe. She has a Zimbabwe tracksuit on. And Riley from Kenya. I just love the Kenyan colors, in all honesty. And I can see that the position looks a little double-edged. Because on one hand, if I were to look at the position first, I would see that white has a lot of pressure on the king side. But then the engine says something completely different. Yeah. And she's standing in front of the camera. I don't think she knows the camera is there. I don't think she knows the camera is there. So chat, how are you doing today? Hope you guys are well and that you are well rested as well. It is under 10 girls. Thank you, chat, for letting me know. I appreciate it. It is under 10 girls. The board closes. Oh, close to us. Yes. And the board a little bit further away from us, I think, is their board 2. And what's nice is their entire row, or first row, is just 2 boards per section for the younger age groups that are dedicated to broadcasting those games live. So they have at least 2 boards per section having, live games. And I also need to find out as to why the air conditioning is so cold. Let me try to fix it. There we go. I hope that works and doesn't boil me to death. Alrighty. Where did I get my microphone? So this is a Blue Yeti. I did a lot of content for Logitech G way back when, and with it we got a bunch of peripherals, including a keyboard, a mouse. I got my own headset from Logitech just because I really love the brand, and then we also got given a Blue Yeti because my Samsung microphone, which is the first external microphone that I ever bought, it fell a lot, and crazily enough, it broke one day. But yeah, back to the game. We're seeing an endgame on the board live, but I would like to take a look at the chess. So it's rare that I go back and I look at games played by such young ladies or young players in general. It's mostly only the players that I compete against that, you know, I see their games and I prepare against them and so on. But it'd be nice to see what the quality of play is like on the under 10 girls level on board one. So e4, d6. So we might have a Pirc or a Pierce. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Pirc, and people have different ways of pronouncing it. Knight to f6, knight c3. Really nice center for white. This is generally how I would go about it as well. Though usually, you know, playing a move like h3 to stop knight g4. Generally, you don't want to give up your bishop this early in the game for a knight because you don't really know what the position is going to be like in 10, 15 moves. Maybe it'll be blocked up and a knight would be better. Maybe you would have opened up the center and some files and some diagonals and the bishop would be better. So you don't really know what is going to happen. After bishop to b7, castles, castle, and bishop to h6. And this is a very common idea, especially when your opponent has fianchettoed, that the bishop placed on that diagonal is usually a really strong bishop because it will, in future, have a lot of range. It's on its longest diagonal, and white then has a simple idea of trying to eliminate this bishop and also eliminate a defender of the king. Usually to take. One of the ways in which black could counter this, though they probably would have had to castle a move a little bit or move earlier. So in case, let's say white plays a move like h3, black would play rook e8, and in order to reserve this bishop, actually play a move like bishop to h8. And that way they don't have to commit to exchanging this bishop early, just in case it is an asset later on. Alrighty, so after castles, bishop to h6, e5, d5, blocking up this bishop, posing a question to it saying, what in the world are you doing? Though I would have definitely had a counter question for this bishop on d3. How are you going to utilize this bishop later on? And here we have that knight g4, the infamous knight g4 that we spoke about a little bit earlier. It's something that you want to avoid, and this multi-purpose move h3 would have definitely helped prevent it. Prophylactic move, allowing the king some air to breathe later on in case of some back rank checkmate threats, and also just preventing any bishop or knight to go to g4 later on. And so how does white reply to this? Okay, capture the bishop. You don't want to lose too much time. And now we see h3, knight has retreated to f6. And with the king on g7, I think this position is pretty safe for black, even though white was able to eliminate that potentially strong bishop on g7. And after knight to h2, c6. What a nice way. Black has approached this in such a straightforward way, saying, you know, where are the weaknesses? How could I, gain control in the center? Where are my pawn breaks? And am I, fully utilizing my pieces and their range? And here that's exactly what she has done. Riley has definitely seen the opportunity and taken it, though after f4, what an amazing move, because black is forced to make a decision. Do you take or do you not take? Because white can capture. And I suppose then it maybe is a little good, but good for black, because now black can capture with the knight. I'm thinking about ways in which you could have the knight be on an I suppose, an outposting square in the center where it can't be attacked by any pawns, and both players would be left with an isolated pawn. But black has decided here, okay, I'm going to take the pawn, and I still want that square for my knight, but I'm first going to play b5. What a nice move. What a nice move. Though maybe it would have been better to bring the rooks in, but I'm very, very, very impressed by the quality of play I've seen so far by these two young ladies. All right, knight takes b5 is a blunder. And chat, can you see why it is a blunder? I can definitely give you a hint. The king on g1 is looking a little bit cold. There are too many breezes coming in, and there could be a little bit of a check forking the king and the knight. You could, I suppose, take first. You can take the knight first, bishop takes, and then queen b6. But here, of course, queen b6. Oh, and it equalizes immediately. I see. So I suppose the plan is now to just cover up with the queen and take the queen so that you don't lose material. So it was actually important here for the bishop to capture the knight first. So after king h1, which I suppose she believed in her opponent's attack a little bit too much, bishop to b5, bishop b5, and we have the chief arbiter, or it was the opposing chief arbiter. You know, Ricardo, you can come in for an interview. And he ran away. I don't think he wants to be interviewed at any stage, but we'll try to get him in just for a couple questions, some fun questions later on, you know, just to lighten up the mood, because I'm sure, you know, that the arbiters are seeing chess all day, every day, and to ask them about the tournament structure and all the rest, it's stuff that we can already discuss without him. And we'll look at the schedule in a moment as well. I just wanted to see what was happening here. I think he was trying to enter through another door. So this used to be the arbiter's room, and that's why people are coming in and out, and I'm hoping that they will eventually realize that I am just here talking to a camera and that they should not bother us. All right, so after rook to g4, queen to c5, and white wanted to trade queens here. Alrighty, so queen takes, rook takes, I suppose. Yeah. Which is interesting because you don't want to trade when you are down in material, and black could have gladly accepted the trade and said, you know, I want to trade to a winning endgame. Because as long as a lot of pieces are on the board, it's not going to be easy to convert, or I suppose as easy to convert as if, you know, as it would be if you were left with just a bunch of pawns and an extra knight. All right, so queen takes now. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. And that's why this got a question mark, because this knight is hanging. And this is so, so interesting. Rook takes f6, giving up the exchange. And after queen takes, queen to f5, again, wanting to trade queens. And this is a lesson for all of us, I think. Do not trade when you're down in material. All right. But it's not at all clear who's going to win or what is happening. But I'd like to take a look at the whole camera. And we have the Zimbabwean player who's playing with the white pieces here, putting up a hand, calling an arbiter. And I wonder what the issue is there. I wonder. So while we wait and see what's happening, Jesse, now the head arbiter. Yes, so not the chief arbiter anymore, but the head arbiter. Got you. Joni thinks she's doing the commentary. Okay. But Fani, you shouldn't be spoiling the results in chat. Not at all spoiling the results in chat. No, unless you can see them on the camera, then it's fine. Miss Queen B6. Okay, so, oh, that is a brave move. Imagine offering your opponent a draw. Hi, Maripant, how are you? Offering your opponent a draw, and your opponent doesn't accept, and your hand's just hovering there in the air. Crazy. Yeah. It's only 12:52 a.m. Okay, that is relatively early, not gonna lie. Wow, you are on like the eastest coast ever of the US. It's very, very far away. living in a different day. Oh, I asked. Okay. My bad. Like I said, you know. Okay, so she won the game. Congratulations to the under 10 player from Zimbabwe, proving her worth against the Kenyan player. So congratulations to them. And I'm assuming she is now on 2 out of 2. What a strong start. And with 9 rounds in total, anything can happen. Speaking about the schedule, let's take a look at what's happening over the next couple of days. What's really cool about the schedule is that it's not just about the games that are being played. There are activities happening all over, and we have Anzel, who is my co-commentator, running 2 courses during, I suppose, the course of this week, being the preparation of teacher's course starting today at 10 o'clock, and the preparation of lecturer's course continuing in the second half of the week, I believe. So she'll be busy from Monday to Friday. I'll get bits and bobs over time, and hopefully we'll be able to grab some people from, some coaches or some heads of delegation for interviews, live interviews later on during the tournament, and perhaps even during the third round. I'm hoping to bump into some people during the lunchtime and ask if they are interested in joining me. So if you're watching this and you are a head of delegation, or you know a coach who is interested in joining me on stream at some point, please don't hesitate to contact me. I think we have the WhatsApp group, so you'll have my details. And then, of course, if you see me in person, just come up to me, and don't worry, I don't bite. As we established, it is a public holiday, and I don't bite on public holidays. Yeah, you could have asked me for this morning, really? Oh wow, that would have been awesome. So maybe later on in the tournament, Fani, you can join me, and Knight, you can also join me if you really want to. So you can come in and we can do some interviews. Because I plan on having someone come through, but for 30 minutes at a time. So I'm hoping to do some 30-minute slots, which will be super fun, because we get to meet new people, and we get to have, I will not be a gatekeeper of the stream. I want to have as many people on the stream as possible. Yeah. So back to the chess. I wanted to go from one hall to another, just because then we get to see as many players as possible. And in the background, I think we can see the under 12 open section. And I see a South African tracksuit, although Carmen sitting on board 2 at the moment. Let's just quickly see. So this game is over, and we know that white won, according to the board that we can see there. And Carmen, is Carmen a South African player? I think she is. No, she's not. She is a Namibian player. So Carmen is from Namibia, representing Namibia. She's wearing pink today, and she's playing against someone named Heaven. What a beautiful name, from Egypt. Heaven Fadi, who is a 1600 under 10. Incredible. Wow, 1600. And it looks like quite a convincing position already, as she's up 1 rook. So we probably won't spend too much time here, and Heaven is about to take a walk. Now, perhaps we should have Heaven on stream and ask her if she believes that one day she will go to heaven, or to heaven adjacent. All right, but I'd also like to check out the under 10 or under 12 open section there. Let's quickly see on my side if I can find... I will just have to try my best to keep up with everything that's happening. Let's quickly see. Alrighty. So this is the under 18 girls section that we're looking at, with Jemima Paolo, who is the top rated player in her section with a rating of 2076, already placing her in probably the top 10 female players in Africa, which is super impressive. and she's playing against Hannah from Uganda, and Hannah is a 1647 player. But truly, you cannot underestimate anyone playing in this tournament because, as we know, South African and African players are notorious for being underrated because we don't often have the same opportunities to compete as countries abroad that host tournaments a lot more frequently. So let's take a look if we can see the under 10 open section. Alrighty, just so we can spot who's playing what. Let me just do this because I'm so good at navigating. Alrighty, so this is from the under 10 open section, and here we have Jahed Mendeli from Tunisia playing against Oliver Resnick, or I suppose the whole surname is being blurred out there. His name is Resnikov. Oliver Resnikov playing for South Africa. And they've it's still early in the game. It is 8 moves deep. Let's see what happened. So they've taken their time, their sweet time in the opening. E4, C5, so we have a Sicilian, a Grand Prix, and after knight f6, I love the Grand Prix attack. Grand Prix attack has just so much spice to it because it either goes horribly right or horribly wrong. Or I suppose terribly right and horribly wrong would be a better reflection. And I've fallen for this trick on so many occasions where, I've played an early d3 and maybe moved my knight at some point to e2 and lost this bishop with a check, which I'm still cursed by. It was played at a South African closed chess championship, and out of the opening I was already a bishop down, which broke my heart. But we live and we learn. Never made that mistake again. I still remember I was about 16 or 15 making those kind of blunders, and a6, and now bishop has to decide where it wants to go. Does it want to go to a4 and succumb to b5, or does it want to go to c4? And I suppose you can still play b5 in that position. And I don't know, black has done a good job at keeping things close to home for now. But that's what the Sicilian is. You build up a slow attack and then pounce. And I think that things could get very messy and tactical and complicated very soon. So we'll keep an eye on this game for now. And I can see that both the ladies in the under 10 girls section have finished their games. Let's quickly see. Okay, so the Egyptian player won, the Zimbabwean player won, and there we have the board in the distance there that we can see right next to them. The South African player playing against the Tunisian player, and the Tunisian player is getting up to walk around. And I'm yet to check out the remaining halls because I think I've only seen 2 of them so far, but I believe there are 4 or 5 venues that are being used, and I love it. We're close to 500 participants in the competition, so we're running out of space. I think some of them are playing at the Radisson Blue, and some of them at Kopanong, but somewhere else. And maybe I need to get a tour of Kopanong again, even though I played here many, many years ago and multiple times as well. My first time here, I think, was in 2013, playing in the South African closed chess championship in the under 16, or I think it was 16, under 16 section. And little old Jessie 1400 playing for the South African title. Didn't do too well in that competition, though. We I feel like things started to happen after my youth period. All right, let's double check chat and see if there are any questions. And hello everyone, those of you just joining us, thank you so much for being here. And don't forget to follow if you're on Twitch, or subscribe if you're on YouTube. And it's really nice to see you all. If you are parents or loved ones or friends or family watching from all over, please let us know. Yes. Or James is going to join you. What happened? James, yeah, I need to contact James actually. I just had no time at all. But what I'm going to do is take a short break, everyone, and I'm going to play the video that I edited together or put together of Sean Leviton's interview, and he is the tournament director, so perhaps he can tell you a little bit more about how this tournament came about, the logo, and so on. I mean, it's a really killer logo, don't you think? Ulwazi. Ulwazi the elephant. But okay, I'll see you guys soon.
Hi, my name is Sean Everton, and I'm the Tournament Director of the 15th Annual African Youth Chess Championship. I was asked to help out with just looking at the budget, because these are tournaments where things can go wrong very quickly. There's a lot of expenses, very uncertain income, and I was just asked, would I mind having a look at the spreadsheet, the budget, and giving an opinion on it. And I think one thing led to the next, and from really just giving an outsider's input, I suddenly became the tournament director. I think the core team is about 5 or 6 people, but the whole team is probably closer to 12 or 13. So that's like the amazing thing about living in the year 2024 and being given the job of tournament director. I literally went on to ChatGPT. I had the 4.0 version, and I started to play with images that could be used as a mascot for African youth. Of course, there are a lot of duds and a lot of iterations, and a lot, can you change this or make the colors move? But what you have as the result over here is ChatGPT created artificial intelligence mascot. I think it's a lot about unity. I think it's, for South Africa, this is a really, really important event. We've been in the wilderness for a long time because of our chess politics. Kids have been deprived the opportunity to play. At last year's Africa Youth, up until literally the day before, kids were waiting for a yay or nay on whether they were going off to Egypt. And this has really been the history, whether you get selected, whether you don't, whether there was an official competition to qualify, whether you went through an academy. And I think there's been so much uncertainty in recent times that just to have an event in your own backyard, to be excited, to be able to field the most number of people, for a South African, it's a really big deal. And for those that aren't part of it, hopefully they're still cheering that it was here, and hopefully we're showing ourselves and the rest of Africa that we're ready for such events, and that the break between this one and the next one will not be nearly as long as it's been. So what's exciting about 14 years ago today for most people in the world is that it was the 2010 World Cup. And in fact, South Korea were playing Brazil at Ellis Park. And it was a big, big day just to be hosting the World Cup, and quite a big day if you were someone living in Johannesburg, because everyone wanted tickets to play Brazil. It also happened to be the day that my wife's water broke. She was pregnant with twins. It was an unexpected arrival. They came about 6 weeks early, very prem, and we were stuck on a highway trying to get to the hospital that was the same route that you took to get to the soccer stadium. So I can tell you, literally, 14 years ago to this thing, I was sweating, and 14 years later, I'm still sweating. So, and both because of 2 boys, twin boys, who are now playing in this tournament. I'll be back.
All right, I'm back, and we managed to shift the camera a little bit just so that we can see some of the games that are still live. I think they were, Harry eyeballing me over there saying, what are you doing? Why are you putting the camera on me? Apparently, there was some issues with like touch move, and the camera sorted that out, so I'm happy. Yeah, I'm out of breath because I was running back from the playing hall. I was also trying to organize some coffee for the room because Johannesburg is so cold and I'm not used to this kind of cold. And I might actually grab my scarf and put it over my legs because it's freezing. Yeah. All right. Let me do that real quick. Here we have my big boy scarf that I'm going to use just for extra warmth. Yeah. I hope you guys are doing well in chat. And apparently we had a raid. I do appreciate the raid. Thank you so much. I'll bring up my stream manager just to double check and see what happened. Though, thank you so much, Ulan, for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate you. And resubbing as well. So I don't think there was a raid, but there was some subs. So I appreciate that. Whew. While I catch my breath, I will be looking at some of the games. In the meantime, hope you enjoyed the interview. And heaven is a place on earth. Who knew? Oh, okay. So apparently we can't get viewers organically then. Okay, I understand. No, I'm joking. Alrighty, so I'm gonna take a closer look at the camera and let's see who we are looking at the moment. So on board 1, we have the game in front of us, I think. And on board 2, there is, let me go to the under 12 open section because maybe it's that. Maybe it is. Okay, it is actually the under 12 open section that we're looking at right in front of us on the DGT boards. On board 1, we have Jihad Baba from Tunisia, who just got up and is walking around playing with the white pieces, playing against Ayad. And Ayad, I don't quite know how to pronounce your surname, so I'm going to try. And if I do not do a good job, I'm really sorry. But it is very, very impressive that you have a 1972 rating at the age, a crisp age of 12. So El Husseini, I'm going to assume that is how you pronounce it. And on board 2, we have Shoria Singh from South Africa with the white pieces playing against, oh wait, I think I looked at the wrong board. We have Dave. We checked out Dave's game yesterday playing with the white pieces from Ghana against Jedediah. Oh, that is such a cool name. I love it. From South Africa with the South African tracksuit, Mabera. And they're all on 1 point. In the under 12 open section, we have 27 players on 1 point. Not one draw from the previous round. I love to see it. No peace in the land. Anishgiri would be deeply disappointed. However, I know that joke has come and gone and has become super stale over time. Alrighty. So that is the under 12 open section. So let's try and find their game and go over what is happening and why they are concentrating so deeply on that game in front of us. I quickly just want to take a look at the section under 12. Alrighty. So I'm going to bring up Yeah, like I was saying, professional streamer, by the way. Yeah, I just wanted to choose the game and needed an overlay to sit there and look pretty in the meantime while I'm shifting from one game to another. Alrighty, and here we have it. Here we have it. The game between Jahed and Ehiyad from Tunisia. Tunisia versus Egypt. And it is already in the middle game with an f5 on the board. If I were to guess what opening this was, I'm going to think Sicilian, maybe also Grand Prix, though I might be brave in saying that. Otherwise, it must have been a Maroxy bind of some sort, because this pawn, it was on e4 and then it captured something on d5. I think that's how we got to this structure. And let me see if I'm right. So let's go back and check out the game. They are already quite far. Okay, Sicilian was correct. Let's see if I was correct about the Maroxy bind. I was, let's go. Amazing. So good at this game. It's really nice to take a look, and just as a challenge to yourself as well, take a look at a middle game and try to guess what opening it derived from, because from that you'll be able to sort of put to the test, do you understand pawn structures and what pawn structures could arise from certain openings? Is it something that you play? Is it something that you don't play and are still able to identify? Is it something that a middle game that you would play for yourself and be like, oh, what opening was this? Should I get into that opening? So it's quite a nice little challenge. Speaking of challenges, I'm hoping to do a little bit of a giveaway tomorrow. So those of you watching the stream, tomorrow we will be doing a chess.com diamond membership giveaway. We have 10 of those up for grabs. And what we're going to do tomorrow is I'm going to put you guys to the test. If you are at the venue, or if you are a chess player and are not at the venue but want to be a part of this competition somehow, all you need to do is post on Instagram or Facebook using the hashtag AYCC2024. So hashtag AYCC2024. And you could stand a chance to win the diamond membership. However, you will have to watch this stream tomorrow, because it's only one round tomorrow at 3 p.m. in order to, win the membership. And we have a coffee. You're the best ever. Do you want to bring it here? You can bring it over here. Thank you so much. We have the hero of the day bringing through some coffee. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Oh, you are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And we have a beautiful cup of coffee waiting for us. Though, if I were to show you, I'd turn the camera and show you that there is a jug of milk. And, I suppose I could show you this. This is something that is going to end up in my belly soon. No, just something that we can use for energy today, because it's a long day, 2 games. I'm not even playing, we're commentating. But let's continue and see how this game continued. So d6, bishop to e3, bishop to b7, and bishop to e2. I would honestly play this for white, just because I am someone who enjoys the structure of Maroxy bind. It is solid, and it's very difficult for things to go wrong. I do know that overextending as white, or perhaps even overextending with the black pieces in a position like this, can be rather, I suppose, not so beneficial. It could be bad for you to overextend, and that's why playing the Maroxy bind against someone who's a little bit lower rated, you sort of wait for them to push. I feel like the higher rated players are better at timing their attacks and are a lot more likely to be patient. And the reason I'm not a much stronger player is because I lack that patience. But sometimes I can really surprise myself and be patient when it comes to that situation. So after queen to a5, castles, bishop to e6, rook c1, rook c8, and b3. I love it. I love it. Everything is very straightforward. Even though you probably in the back of your mind understand the structure, it still also plays itself. It's a very easy and comfortable position for white, because white's plan is simple. You put the rook on the c file to back up the c pawn, but also take the rook off the diagonal of the bishop. You play b3 to support the pawn. And eventually, when you are ready and when the time is right, you play this move, knight to d5. Of course, it's not possible right now because the pawn on e4 is hanging, so you're probably going to play f3, and you have a nice little, structure for your pawns, and it's very aesthetic. And we're all about the aesthetic pawn structures on this stream. Do we like isolated pawns? Sometimes when they're in the center, IQPs are quite awesome. Double pawns, also not really, but sometimes it's okay. I also would put a question mark at bishop to h6, just because the plan is to take control of the central squares first. And if I were to look at the range of this bishop and the activity of this bishop right now, I would definitely say that white's bishop is stronger, right where it is. So to want to exchange this bishop is probably not the best way forward. And this bishop doesn't really have a lot of prospects down this diagonal because it's not really attacking much. Other than the knight on c3, I don't see a reason to play something like that. But b5, and there we have that overextension. And maybe it is the right time, maybe it is the wrong time. But here we had maybe even a slight edge for black, and that got equalized after b5. And like I said, the one to overextend is usually going to be on the back foot. So bishop takes g7. Though my question would be, what happens if you just capture the pawn? What happens if you just take? And, I was testing you guys, because clearly the answer is bishop takes h6, and you lose a piece. So after that, we go back and we correct our mistakes. b4 shutting down the... Wow, hang on. Do you play a little bit of an intermezzo? What do you play here, actually? What do you play here? Okay, so after knight d5 and knight takes e4, maybe we even have this move. Queen check. Knight has to go back, and knight takes e7. Knight b6 is suggested by the engine here. Wow, like I said, very messy, complicated, and tactical. Maybe something I need to stay away from, given how bad my tactics are lately. So knight d5, bishop takes d5, pawn takes d5, and queen check on c5, king h1, normal, and a5. I really like this position for white, not gonna lie. Engine tends to think that this position is a little bit equal, but what do you guys think? Do you guys like structures like the Morocco bind? Do you put yourself to the test sometimes and be like, oh, this derived from the Caro-Kann, the adjacent variation in that book by Alekhine? Thank you so much for the follows this stream, by the way. If you're not made an account, I promise it's easy to just whip up an account. And who doesn't have a YouTube account? Go and subscribe on the YouTube channel. I'm hoping to post all the interviews onto the YouTube channel and on the social media accounts of the African Youth. And yeah, so don't forget to do that. We do have coffee, so perhaps we can do a coffee making stream. You probably will be able to see me make coffee. And normally over-evaluate space in these structures, I suppose. But like, it's also about the comfortability of it. And I think that it's rather comfortable for white here. Just because, we have a weakness over here for black, you can easily just attack it with rook e1. And I hope you guys know that any commentary that I do is purely for the entertainment aspect and from a really, I suppose, rather 1900 to 2000 level expertise. Not at all Grandmaster level, but yeah, hopefully we can see some Grandmaster level games. Right now, the accuracy, according to chess.com, it's 91% accuracy for white and 93% accuracy for black. And it is incredible how high the quality has been, only of the games that we've seen so far, and I'm thoroughly impressed. All right, so let me try and switch games. We can try and take a look at the under 18 section and work our way down. Let's quickly see. Commentator. There we go. I'm switching between scenes here, and then I'll grab a cup of coffee. Let's see. Under 18. I was asked if I could take a look at the under 8 games. So perhaps we can quickly see under 8s, what happened. I think that game's still going on. We have Minka Conradi versus Atlechang Mafane. And where is she from? Let's quickly take a look. Alrighty. But that is board 2, it seems. So board 1 is not being broadcasted. On board 1, we have Amelie Kapp from South Africa versus, is it the only player in the section with a rating? And that is a Botswanian player named Sashanvi. I'm trying. Sashanvi Nalam Malpu. Manalapu. I don't quite know what the result is of that game, unfortunately, just because we cannot see the live transmission. However, I hope that game is in high spirits and that the players are battling it out and playing their hearts out. On board 2, though, we can see this game between the two players, who I'll tell you more about in a moment. We have Minka Conradi from South Africa versus Atlechang Mafane, also from South Africa. So the South Africans are playing against each other here in the under 8 section. And wow, it is looking rather equal. Now, let's see. Let's guess the evaluation of this position. And also, let's see what the quality of play has been so far. Let's go back to the beginning. C4, an English opening, and bishop c5. What a nice way of dealing with the English as well. Wow, the opening preparation that these young ladies have put in, I'm thoroughly impressed. Wow, this is better than any English opening I've ever played. Goodness me. B4, okay. I don't like knight b2. Let's see, b4, what can black do here? Let's see. We could probably just take the bishop. I think taking the bishop would be the way to go if the engine doesn't like it too much. What does it say? It says knight takes d2 or h5. Okay, I like knight takes d2 and then h5 maybe. Something like this. Okay. Okay, in the game, knight b2 to attack the queen, knight went back, bishop c3, and queen to c8. And again, now this pawn is hanging. Black misses it. c5 en passant. I wonder if there are any players in the tournament who see en passant and are like, what in the world is that? Is that a trick? Are you cheating? Wow. But those are the under 8s, and then we have the under 8 open section. Let's quickly see if we have the under 8 open section here as well. Just being professional, you know, and trying to make the transition as smooth as possible. Okay, so the under 8 open section doesn't have any live games here, it seems, right now, just because they already completed. Okay, so they finished their games already, and that was quick. The players spent barely any time on their games, and okay, wow, those were blitz games, in all honesty. So both the under 10 girls' games are over, the open under 10s, but I did promise that we would start at the top again and move our way down. So let's start with the under 18 open section on board 1. We don't have a camera in that hall today just because we only have one camera, and I'm hoping to toggle between going from one hall to another, which I think would be a really good idea. just because we're giving everyone a chance to be on camera. If you see your kid on camera and you're not happy with it, please tell an organizer, tell an arbiter, tell me if you can see me around. By all means, don't feel like you can't say anything. Say something. Or if the kid feels uncomfortable, please tell us. Because I obviously haven't asked you guys specifically if it's okay. And if it's not, I'm happy to remove the cameras altogether just to make you guys feel comfortable. So just know that you have a choice. It's fine. Alrighty. So here we have the under 18 open section on board one. We saw Caleb playing on camera yesterday and won quite a nice convincing game there. And today he plays against a fellow South African in Telo Bongoletu, who is an 1800. Very impressive rating there in the under 18 section. So let's take a look at what happened in the beginning of the game. It seems that Caleb has been well in his preparation given how much time he has left on his clock after move 16, and Bongoletu only has 36 minutes. So when did he spend the majority of his time? On move 14, he spent 15 minutes. On multiple of the moves, he spent about 8 to 10 minutes. So we can see that he's definitely out of his preparation, though d4 is usually said to be, or said to lead to rather comfortable positions for white given, or depending on the opening, of course. Alrighty, so there is a Nimzo Indian, I think this is called. Let's quickly see. Nimzo Indian defense, classical, Noah variation. See these variations, the names change all the time, I'm telling you. All right. And after e3, castles, a3, takes, b6. Queen c2 is a nice way to deal with the Nimzo Indian, just defending the knight and not, compromising the pawn structure. But it seems as though white decided to take with the pawn anyway. After knight f3, taking bishop e7, c5, and castles. And wow, castling, giving Caleb the chance to take the knight and open up the king. Black clearly, though I suppose white clearly understands that having the bishop over the knight, especially how powerful this bishop is worth that compromise of, opening up the king, and perhaps there is a way to cover up the holes around the king later on. And okay, let's see what happened. Knight to d7, knight to g5, h6, and knight comes back to e4. White seems very happy to trade off some of the minor pieces. Queen to c7 gets a bit of a question, though I don't think that the move is at all bad. It looks very normal. Alrighty, f3. Let me see what was recommended. Okay, so knight g3. So maybe it was a miss by black. Let's see what the miss is. So apparently bishop takes e4 is the way to go because of bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, queen takes e4, and probably just gaining a tempo on the queen with knight to f6. And after queen to d3, and let's see, queen d7. Okay, he doesn't want to trade, and rightfully so. When you are the higher rated player, you want to keep pieces on the board and complicate matters as much as possible. So after f3, rook to c8, bishop to d2, and rook to d8. Really nice. Centralizing the rooks where necessary, and after bishop to e1, probably wanting to come around and pose some questions to the queen. And oh, okay, so it's Caleb to move in this position. And what I'm going to do, guys, is take a short moment just to make myself a beautiful, yummy, yummy cup of coffee. And I'll catch up in chat while I take that break, and I will be right back. And we are back. Things are looking really interesting on the second board of the under 18 open section between Michael Simpson. Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. I was just checking out the other results between Michael Simpson from South Africa and a really long name of a player from Madagascar. But we're going to try and say your first name, which is a little less long. But what's really cool is the last name of this player. The last part of the last name looks a lot like January. And my surname is February. So that's pretty cool. I think we have something in common, and I'm going to run with that. But yeah, said run Neri. I'm going to try again. Said run Nerina. Nerina. I think that's the most exotic name I've ever tried to say in my life. But here we have, like I said, Michael Simpson versus the Madagascan player. And let's take a look at the opening. And then they have at least 4 boards on electronics. So we'll have a lot of things to look at in the under 18 section. And another sort of Maroxy bind. Oh, wow. The bishop on d3. You don't see that often enough. That's really, really cool. You probably have to push the pawn here with the white pieces, though taking, I suppose, is also an option. I wonder what the idea is after a move like e5. After a move like e5. It is getting cold again. I don't know why it goes from hot to cold, in all honesty. Oh, it's on auto, that's why. Heat. I'm putting it on heat because I get cold very quickly. There we go. All right, well, hopefully that works. Okay, so let's see. It's still sort of equal here in this position, and after capture, capture. Okay, and then e5 makes sense. And the knight has now retreated to g8. How do you even respond to something like this? Apparently castling is the way to go. However, white decides to play bishop b1 instead. And I suppose we found a new home for the bishop, and when the day is done, you got to put your pajamas back on. And like Ansel would say, the pieces at the back, on the back rank, are all in their pajamas. And now the evaluation is 0-0. Knight to e7, also a mistake, apparently, with the follow-up needing to be d4, and that is exactly what Michael has found. And after g6, castles, bishop to g7. Thank you so much for being here in chat, everyone. I can see you, and I acknowledge you. I appreciate the followers and the subs on YouTube. Now I see why the elephant is the chess mascot, the way the players dangle their arms in the air like trunks when they hesitate over a move. Exactly, because they're like, you know, I'm not really sure, but should I, but shouldn't I? You're not really consciously thinking about what your arm is doing. You're like, my brain is unsure, so my arm is unsure, so my fingers will not make the move. And after bishop to g7, we have h4. What a nice move found by Michael. Castles h5, bishop to c8, wanting to come around and attack, though now this is probably solidifying white's advantage, posing a lot of questions to black's pieces. Where's your coordination? And how are you going to try and equalize this position? Not going to be easy. And at bishop to h8, we can see all the pieces are gradually being pushed back to their original squares, or not original squares, but rather just the back rank. Pinning the knight, and after bishop to e6, queen is coming in. It's just natural play here by white, you know, trying to improve your position move by move, trying to bring a new piece, introduce a new piece into the attack. And that's exactly what he has done. And after rook to e1, queen to e8, I wonder how much time was spent on that move, queen to e8. Only 1 minute and 46 seconds. And after a4, a6, bishop to f6. It's like you are waiting for your demise. However, I don't think it's over just yet. And after a5, that is the last move that was in with the black pieces from Madagascar, is pondering. Watching from your home. Where are you guys watching from? I'd love to know if you are at the venue. It makes me so excited to meet all of you. And I've met quite a few of you already. You've come up to me and you've said, you've watched the stream, or I try to just greet everyone that I see as well. If I bump into someone I don't know, I'm like, hello, how's it going? And even though I don't know your name, I would probably still ask and introduce myself to you and you to me. That'll be awesome. They both have so much time, yet they're both playing instantly. Or are you reviewing the game? I'm busy reviewing the moves that were played up till this point, but now we're seeing it live. Well, live T-minus 15 minutes. Yeah, rook on f8 makes me sad. It makes me sad too. But in this player's defense, it is winter, and you gotta keep your pieces warm as much as, as you keep yourself warm in this winter time. That's why I'm trying to make sure this room is as warm as possible, but I am still freezing for some reason. Yeah. Hi everyone in chat. Welcome. Yes, and we have b4 being played by Michael. He's not spending any time on his moves. And let's go check out the next board in that section, which is the third board, under 18 open. And we have Tawanda Mako from Zimbabwe, sorry. My eyesight is really bad, so I'm just going to blame it on that. And Samir David from Egypt, playing with the black pieces. Now I'm going to doubt all my knowledge of flags, even though I thought I was pretty good at it to start with, especially, African flags and European flags and so on. All right, this is already an endgame, and the material is equal. We do like black's pawn structure. I'm sorry, not getting a lot of sleep. We do like black's pawn structure a little bit more than how we feel about white's. Though white does have a lot of central control, bishops are of the same color, so there's a lot of fight left in this position. And as much as we see the discrepancy between ratings, 2100 versus 1800, it doesn't necessarily tell us who's better, because an 1800 has the potential to play like a 2100 on any given day. And the reason they're maybe stuck at 1800 or perhaps even passing through 1800, as we'll see here, because of this high stakes competition, we're probably going to see the best of these players despite their ratings. So that's the last thing you should look at, and never underestimate your opponent. You like my jokes? Oh goodness, my jokes are horrible. Perhaps you need to have your coffee so that you can start to think straight, How is David at 2100 FM? So, in Africa, and I know certain parts of the world also do this, we have a lot of youth tournaments with chess titles up for grabs, and zonal tournaments, and our continental events. In the youth events, African youth events, players stand a chance to win a title in the under 18 section. As far as I'm aware from my past experiences, I don't know if it's been confirmed for this event yet. We are yet to chat to the chief arbiter and confirm titles, what is available to the winners of this tournament. But the winner of the under 18 section usually gets the IM title. And then ever since, I think, 2017, FIDE implemented a rule that said you will be granted the title on condition you would sort of have the title elect until you reach a rating of, I think for IM it's 2200, for FM it's 2100, and for CM it's 2000, and for females it's 2100 for WGM, 2000 for WIM, and so on. So I'm waiting for that 2100 after winning the Continental, hoping to get my Women Grandmaster title finally. I've been waiting years and years and years. And at the moment, my rating is 2011. So I'm hoping to get there soon after a couple tournaments. So we'll work really, really hard. And yeah, so I'll be leaving next month for a couple tournaments in Spain, and then the Olympiad, the World Olympiad in Hungary. So fingers crossed, pray for me, keep me in your thoughts, and do some rain dances and smoke signals to make sure that the spirits know that I'm coming. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how many ways there are in which players could gain a title. And you get your arena titles, which are your online titles. You get your OTB titles. There are so many ways to achieve them, including playing in the World Championship cycle. I think if you play in the Women's World Championship match or the candidates or something like that, I mean, the likelihood of you really being a title player or the title that you want, I mean, that chance is going to be very high if you're playing in a tournament like the World Championship match or the candidates and so on. So, yeah, I think also at the World Olympiad, though, the World Olympiad used to have a situation where you get, if you score a norm, it's actually a double norm. I'm not sure if they do that anymore. And then they also have something where if you score a percentage, like 60%, but the minimum requirement of games is something like 7 or 8 games. I'm not sure what it is. You guys are going to have to just tell me, because my facts, the facts are there, but it's flawed and there's a lot of holes in it. So you're going to have to fill in the gaps. And so I think you get like women's CM or CM title from that with no rating requirement whatsoever. And you can just get the title because it is a world event. But for African titles and for, I think South America also does the whole like zonal situation where you'll find players of like 1900 or 2000 having or sporting a title, where you would usually find titles like that being in possession of players of a rating of 22, 2300. I know I've seen many grandmasters as well with ratings much lower than 2500, but that's usually because they've retired from playing professional chess and just play for leisure, or perhaps they've gotten it by winning a championship where they could gain that title. So yeah, a lot of cool ways. Yes, there's the World Junior event as well, where you get GM. But remember, winning the World Junior Championship, World Juniors, you're playing against Grandmasters already. So the chances are you are going to be of that caliber, though at least you can skip past all the pleasantries of having to score a norm. And I know that when I was much younger, titles that were scored the quick way and the easier way were called the Mickey Mouse titles because they were considered a joke. Though I think that you can really get far if you have that title, because the higher your title, the more conditions you could be offered, and the more elite more elite of a chess player you'd be considered. So I think with that, it could then present those opportunities that you've been lacking. And I think a lot of talented players are deprived of those opportunities of being able to play in competitions just like this one, where you're playing against players all over Africa, not just your local tournaments, because maybe that's all a lot of people can afford. Chess, contrary to popular belief, is one of the most expensive sports because of the lack of sponsors and that sort of thing. You're having to travel to play. Of course, the equipment, chessboard, set, books, and stuff like that is easily accessible. We can find it online. The resources are in abundance. So you have a lot of talented chess players who work really hard on their chess and just aren't offered that opportunity to play all that often. And that is where the sad reality is, that only select few get that opportunity to play more. And yeah, but nonetheless, we are here to spot those sort of talents, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to broadcast the event so that it can look attractive to certain sponsors in future, but also to bring you the entertainment that you, well, hopefully some sort of entertainment, however dry my jokes may be, to show you some games. And yeah, I want to see how this, okay, if we were to guess what the opening was, I'm thinking it was a d4. It was a Slav. That's what I'm thinking from this game. I might be wrong. Maybe it was a French. Actually, no, I don't think it was a French. It was a d4. It was an e4. Okay, this is the one time I was wrong. Okay, but you don't often see the c3 Sicilian being played anyway. Oh, very nice. We have the IQP. Very cool. All right. Okay, now they both have isolated pawns. I like white's isolated pawn a little bit more. Oh, he took the queen. Unisolated the pawn. Pawn is now reunited with his friends and family. And I see that a pair of rooks were taken, and I'm wondering why it was not recaptured with the rook here. Am I missing something? Maybe you guys can let me know in chat if I'm missing something. I would have thought that rook takes is better. You thought it was a Rai Lopez? Maybe. But no. He had already fulfilled all the requirements for Grandmaster title earlier this year and didn't need the direct title that is given to the World Junior Champion. Then I suppose he only needed the rating. However, if you are given a direct title, I'm not sure how it works at a World Junior event, but yeah, you only need 2,300 for Grandmaster, or 2,300, and then you're a Grandmaster with direct titles. So what my goal is, I'm going to go and get 2,300, and then I'm going to play in the open section of the African individuals, and then I'm going to win, and then I'll be a GM. I'm joking. It's difficult. It's more difficult than that because now you have at the African individuals in the open section already 2,700 playing, and we have Bassem Amin, we have Ahmed Adli, who is actually here at the venue with his team, hoping to grab him for an interview at some stage. And we have other players like Fi from Madagascar. There is Algerian player, Algerian players rather, grandmasters. So yeah, who's the strongest chess player? Salem is not considered African. Remember, the United Arab Emirates is not part of Africa. It is part of the Middle East, Middle East and Asia. Hi, Mariah, how you doing? But the strongest player in Africa is the player from Egypt, Bassem Amin. He plays for, I think, either multiple or a club in Germany, part of the Bundesliga. Hello. How's it going? I'm good. I'm just streaming at the moment. It's okay. Yeah, we're actually live at the moment. Yeah, we're doing the live stream. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Don't worry about it. So that is two of the arbiters. I'm not sure if the one gentleman is an arbiter, but I think he is the sponsor or organizer of the Moja tournament that is going to take place in September in Kimberley, South Africa. And there are two doors. I've locked the one and the other door is unlocked. And they tried both doors thinking it's two different rooms, but it's actually the same room. But okay, it means I get to see some friendly faces and people know where I am. And I'd prefer not to lock it, so yeah. Okay, we're talking about rook takes c1, the knight c4. I guess black is a little bit better after rook c3. Because the rook is restricted to the a3 pawn. I see. That makes a lot of sense. Although, would you not think? No, we should not think. Thinking seems like a very dangerous game. I honestly would have taken with the rook. But here, even the engine suggests bishop takes. And now I can see it looks a little bit more natural. And after knight c5, black wouldn't be able to get the open file at all. just because of knight c5. So nice. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. Elephant's trunk sighting. Wait, what do you mean? Elephant trunk sighting. Oh, it was the mascot in the playing hall? Though I don't think so. No, I don't think that the mascot was there. All right, let's move on to board 4 of the under 18 open section. If there are any games you would like to take a look at specifically, I'm more than happy for us to take a look at that. And here we have Nathan Peter, who is a South African, playing against Jamie Sonny from Angola, and lost his game already. Wow, that looks hectic. Alrighty, now we should go to a quick break, and when I come back, we'll take a look at the under 18 girls section and just see what's happening over there. And for the third round, I will probably put the camera back in the other hall, and since I'm using my other camera, we should get a better quality image as well of the players. So I'll be right back, and don't go anywhere.
Hi, my name is Sean Everton and I'm the Tournament Director of the 15th Annual African Youth Chess Championship. I was asked to help out with just looking at the budget because these are tournaments where things can go wrong very quickly. There's a lot of expenses, very uncertain income, and I was just asked, would I mind having a look at the spreadsheet, the budget, and giving an opinion on it. And I think one thing led to the next, and from really just giving an outsider's input, I suddenly became the tournament director. I think the core team is about 5 or 6 people, but the whole team is probably closer to 12 or 13. So that's like the amazing thing about living in the year 2024 and being given the job of tournament director. I literally went on to ChatGPT. I had the 4.0 version and I started to play with images that could be used as a mascot for African youth. Of course, there are a lot of duds and a lot of iterations and a lot of can you change this or make the colors move. But what you have as the result over here is ChatGPT created artificial intelligence mascot. I think it's a lot about unity. I think it's, for South Africa, this is a really, really important event. We've been in the wilderness for a long time because of our chess politics. Kids have been deprived the opportunity to play. At last year's Africa Youth, up until literally the day before, kids were waiting for a yay or nay on whether they were going off to Egypt. And this has really been the history, whether you get selected, whether you don't, whether there was an official competition to qualify, whether you went through an academy. And I think there's been so much uncertainty in recent times that just to have an event in your own backyard, to be excited, to be able to field the most number of people, for a South African, it's a really big deal. And for those that aren't part of it, hopefully they're still cheering that it was here, and hopefully we're showing ourselves and the rest of Africa that we're ready for such events and that the break between this one and the next one will not be nearly as long as it's been. So what's exciting about 14 years ago today for most people in the world is that it was the 2010 World Cup. And in fact, South Korea were playing Brazil at Ellis Park. And it was a big, big day just to be hosting the World Cup, and quite a big day if you were someone living in Johannesburg because everyone wanted tickets to play Brazil. It also happened to be the day that my wife's water broke. She was pregnant with twins. It was an unexpected arrival. They came about 6 weeks early, very prem, and we were stuck on a highway trying to get to the hospital that was the same route that you took to get to the soccer stadium. So I can tell you, literally, 14 years ago to this thing, I was sweating, and 14 years later, I'm still sweating. So, and both because of 2 boys, twin boys, who are now playing in this tournament. I'll be back.
And we are back. I was so tired of being alone that I just took someone from the street and the hallway or whatever and decided to bring them in here. I forced their hand, poked them with a chess piece and said, you're going to have to come with me now. So we are joined by the president-elect of Chess South Africa, Andre Levux. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Jesse. It's nice to be here. It's always nice to visit you.
Yeah.
And if I look at the scores, the scoreboard for South Africa in terms of our player performance, I'm a very proud president at the moment.
Yeah, I can see that your pride is shining through by the tracksuit that you're wearing. And it's just everywhere I look, I see Andre Levux in this tracksuit. What is this tracksuit that you're wearing, and why did you decide to wear it?
Okay, let me first tell you. I'm glad that you say that you say that you see the tracksuit everywhere. That is what we're trying to do as Chess South Africa at the moment with our players or players' performance, to be everywhere so that our opponents can notice us. And I think that is the thing. In terms of this tracksuit, I've been one of the team managers for South Africa, or Team South Africa at the African Games that was held in Ghana a few months back. So yeah.
Okay. And what was it like in Ghana? Did you enjoy yourself?
I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed being part of the team setup to make sure that we had a very successful game or campaign.
Yes.
And I think I'm very proud that we got a medal there. You guys performed so well. And I think that is what South Africa needed at that stage. A team that stepped up and play for the country. And I think that is what I enjoy most, is when players and young players, I mean, we had very young players as part of the setup, and they stepped up to the occasion and they went to defend their country. And that is the type of spirit that we want to see.
That's true.
And it was good to also mix a little bit with the other African countries, because we are part of Africa and we want to see Africa grow as well. It's not only about South Africa, but creating a stronger Africa, and hopefully as a continent we'll be able to blossom in the future. Yeah.
That's a really amazing. Great answer. I really like that. And you're referring to unity, trying to sort of stick together, and you're wearing a tracksuit to signify our unity. What do you think is your advice to, or rather, what is your advice to kids playing in an individual tournament but still having to remember that they are part of a team? What is your advice to them to try and still encourage them to work together in that sense?
Yeah, I think the biggest moment for a kid is to put on the tie of the country. And how you play as an individual, together we are stronger. And I think that is what we want to teach the kids. And once you're in the South African attire, you do it for your country, but you also do it for each other. And I think the good thing is also that, yes, sometimes you win another teammate, is just to make sure that we stay with positivity in the game, encourage your opponent. And I think as South Africa, we need to help each other, we need to stick together. And that is what make us a very proud country. And I think the significance of this tournament was it started on Youth Day, which signify actually the importance of youth in the country and a sport as a whole, because we need some young role models. And I think that is what we're trying to do in South Africa in the current situation that we are in our country, that there's young chess players that will become young leaders and young masters. And that is what the country needs, and that what we want to contribute. And then Jesse, also, I think what is also very significant for me is that when we had our junior closed tournament, it was on Freedom Day. So there's important landmarks. It was first Freedom Day, then it was Youth Day. And it shows that the youth is actually playing a valuable role in South African society. And I think that is what we want to nurture. Positivity, unity, and inclusivity.
Yeah, Ubuntu. Yeah. What was this thing that you did with your hand?
Yeah.
Were you just stretching your hands?
It means unity, standing together. Yes, we are individuals.
Is that the thing that Nelson Mandela did? When he was like, the long walk to freedom?
But if you put it together, there's strength in standing together.
Okay.
And where we're coming from as a country, very divided, we all need each other, and if we stick together, we can do much better.
I love
The one finger is not more important than the other one, but if you stick together, both of you or all of you is actually creating positivity, but also strength.
That's true. And you say we're trying to create some role models of the future, you know, and that's the advantage of being a short person like me, where you know everyone you look at, you're sort of looking up at them. So yeah. So I'd like to play a little game with you.
Oh, okay.
And this game is going to. I hope that you know your capitals.
I hope it's not chess because you are.
It's about countries and their capitals. How do you feel about that? Okay, so we're gonna go through some of the countries that are here at the tournament, and you're gonna try and tell me what the capital city of each country is. And unfortunately, I don't have the answers with me, so I'm also going to be guessing with you as to what the capital is. If you can't find it, I'll try to butt in and try to find it as well. So let's start with South Africa, an easy one. But I suppose it's not so easy given we have 3 different capitals cities. And what do you think?
Yes, so I can be wrong. At least I will be right.
Yes.
Yeah, Gauteng normally say that the powerhouse of chess in South Africa. They are, I would say, the economic hub of South Africa. But legislatively, Cape Town is the capital.
All right.
Which is actually, according to not because I'm from Cape Town or the Western Cape.
Yes.
But it's the legislate. Oh no. Yeah.
Okay,
Parliament
so
is there. Parliament
true,
is there.
true,
So I
true,
would
true.
say that it's the most
Cape Town?
important. Yeah. I
All
will
right.
stick to Cape
And
Town.
what about the other 2?
Yeah, Pretoria.
Pretoria. Yes.
Tshwane plays also a very good
gosh.
role.
Yes.
So okay, let us say that all of our cities is important.
All of our cities are important, and
But
the
I stick
third
to
one.
Cape Town.
Yeah, no, that's true. Just we had a bit of a mishap with our camera, but I'll definitely still be here in audio to try to solve our little technical glitch. And I think the third capital is actually Bloemfontein.
Yes,
believe
it
or not.
is. It
the
is.
Bermuda Triangle of South Africa.
Yeah,
When you go there, you get lost and you'll never come out of there. So I heard.
I was happy when the camera went down. I think it was trying to save me of embarrassment at
Oh
this stage.
no, not at all. Of course, we need to focus on the kids sometimes. And I think my camera just overheated for a second and said, "Listen, there's too many attractive people on the stream. We gotta take a break. Sorry guys. No, I'm just kidding. But how about Zimbabwe? Let's go to Zimbabwe next.
Harare.
Harare, too easy for you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look
Actually,
at the
one
other.
of the countries that I've never visited. I visited a couple of African countries.
Yeah.
And Zimbabwe has always been one of my favorite. I've never been there. I hope that I will get the opportunity one day to visit.
Okay, well, shout out to Team Zimbabwe. Now we know that South African President-elect here needs a chess invite to the country. Please organize. We have to liaise. All right, how about Botswana?
Oh, Botswana's Gaborone.
Yes. Oh, that's a very interesting way of pronouncing it. I definitely
And
just go.
with my pronunciation,
Yes, you roll
it
your
helps,
R's.
Yeah.
I can hear when you dot your I's as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been visiting there for some work.
Okay.
And the president, Namibia is also a good country, a
Yes.
very friendly country. And I was joking with some of my Namibian colleagues. I was listening into their conversation, and I think they found it very strange.
Yes.
They were talking very beautifully Afrikaans,
Oh,
which is
lovely.
my home language.
Yes. Alrighty. Come in. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Sean Everton, and I'm the tournament.
All right, we had like two mishaps in one go, unfortunately. I think, you know what happened? I think Andre sabotaged the competition because I was winning and he couldn't name all the capitals. So then the camera dropped. He had someone sabotage that, and then the stream dropped. And now we're back, hopefully.
I had
Thank
to
you.
do something to save myself.
Thank you so much for sticking around, everyone, and I really appreciate you just being here. It does mean that we're splitting the YouTube video into three, but it means we get three amazing streams then. But okay, it's fine.
3 is better than 1.
We have a local member here in chat saying, Andre looking stylish in his SA colors. Yeah, how does it feel to be an SA representative?
Well, it feels great. It feels great, and I'm very excited to do so. It doesn't matter in what capacity you serve your country.
Sure.
If you need it for anything, you need to step up to the occasion. So, and I think I am just happy to play a little part. There's more important people that is playing a much better role than us. My role is to support and make sure that people can do what they do best. That's how I see my role.
I think you need to start playing League of Legends. It's a video game where there is a support role. And you can take up that role and help support your team. That would be amazing. But thank you so much, Andre, for your time. I'm not going to bore you more with the whole competition questions, but in all honesty, I think we just wanted another friendly face on stream, and it's really nice to have you.
Thank you very much, Jesse. It was very nice for me to be here, and I am feeling very happy to be regarded as a happy face.
Yeah, I have to say these things.
Maybe I'll have to go for a happy meal now.
We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, and if you do, just get some snacks and then hurry back. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Sean Everton, and I'm the tournament.
And we are back, or rather, I am back solo. Yeah, I was definitely pulling his leg there with a bunch of jokes. But thank you so much for sticking around despite the mishap. We had a ton of drop frames. Something happened. I think it was just the connection issue of the venue, which I knew from the start was going to be a little bit of a give and take. At some point, it was better than any connection I ever had at home, and then there was a bit of a blip. But it's okay. We're back again, and yeah, if you can you ask him one more question, his favorite opening? Oh, he left before I was able to ask him about his favorite opening, but if I were to ask him, maybe he would say the French defense. I'm guessing. I don't know. Perhaps you and I, chats, can play a game of countries, capitals, cities, in Africa, especially the ones who are participating in this competition. While we are wrapping things up on the camera, we can see 2 games remaining. And conveniently enough, it is the one that we're looking at right now in front of us. And let's perhaps go to that game. So let me quickly see. So let's go to that game real quick. I will try to find it very quick, fast. I think it was the under 12 or under 14 board. No, it is the under 12 board. Yeah, it was between Tunisia and Egypt. We'll quickly take a look. And let me just switch the scene so we can all be on the same page. Let's see. There we go. Such a professional. Wow. Yeah, I had to change the video output capture card as well as the whole cable just in case that was faulty. At least I had a backup. That's probably the only backup. So yeah, if the camera stops working, I guess we'll just have to do faceless streams. So either that's the best thing or the worst thing to happen this week. And yes, we have another cup of coffee. And the cups are so small that 1 cup of coffee, I think, equates to about 1/3 of a cup. So technically, 3 of these would be 1 cup, which I think is good. I have been running around taking photos. Anzel has just started her course with everyone who's doing the preparation of teachers course, some familiar faces, which is really cool. So those of you who want to check that out, it is in the Chess and Education Facebook page. You guys can just look it up if you want to know more about that. The courses are happening quite frequently. I think 1 or 2 a month, or maybe more than that a month. I don't really know about their schedule. I don't have any involvement. I'm just an avid supporter of the program. And if you guys want to know more information, they have it online. The courses do end up offering a certificate at the end, and it's quite nice to have because you become reputable. It's a nice little title to have as well. And after completing the preparation of teachers course, you can then go on to complete the preparation of lecturers course, and you would just be like the stonksiest, coolest person to exist in the world. Jesse wants to be chat as well. Beating Andre was not enough. Yeah, it just did not give me the pleasure that I desired. Looks like it's closer to half than 1/3. I think it's 1/3, and we're gonna stick to 1/3. Coffee is an important food group, especially when it's free. Knew you would never condone playing League of Legends. Yeah, I would never play League of Legends. Who even plays that game? Yeah, from the 1st of July, I'll be deleting League of Legends and all other games off my computer and focusing purely on my chess preparation. Whatever time I spent leisurely, I shall no longer. We can proudly say Tyrone was her first student in South Africa to do that course. Amazing! I love that. That's beautiful. Yes, I think this is her 2nd course that she's done in person in South Africa. But maybe she's done about 15 courses in person all over the world, and 1 in Cape Town and now in Johannesburg, which is nice. Those of you who are not following the channel, give the channel a follow. And it looks like we are pretty much wrapping things up for the round. Only a few games left, and we'll stick to this game. I know that the game on the camera will end 15 minutes before the game ends on the board for us, but we'll sit and wait. It looks like white is trying their last tries, even though it says that black is leading. Okay, it makes sense. Black is up 3 pawns and a knight for a rook. Yep. So that looks pretty convincing. As for the results, I'd like to take a look if I can see some of the results so far. We'll start with the under 18 girls and work our way down. In the under 18 girls section, we don't have any results entered yet. In the under 18 open section, still nothing. Under 16 girls section, nothing. I'm not looking at the live boards, I'm looking at chess results to update you, just to let you know about the points and all that jazz. Okay, it looks like they're working their way in the opposite direction. We do have results for the under 10s. Did I not see that? No? I think I'm going crazy. But we all knew that already. Indeed. Okay, so already for the under 8 open section, we have the pairings for the 3rd round, and they are up. And on board 1, we'll have Egypt, Yahia, Mohammed Fawad, playing against Saya Mohammed in the under 8 open section. Also, well, not also, rather from Tunisia. So Egypt and Tunisia, we're seeing a lot of those matchups today. Iyad from Tunisia playing against Frederick from Namibia on board 2. And then if we had to go to the under 8 girls section, I don't know if their pairing is up just yet. It is not yet up. But so far, we've seen some very solid, exciting chess. We've seen something, coming out of the Sicilian or the Grand Prix attack, I believe, with the Maraxi bind in the Sicilian. And some really, really cool things. I do want to check out what's happening in the under 18 section, the open, just because I think we missed that. Jemima won in the under 18 girls section on her. Thank you so much. Thank you for making sure that I still have coffee, because I think they're afraid of what would happen if I didn't have coffee. Okay, so Caleb Leviton won his game against Bongoletu, and Michael Simpson won his game against the Madagascan player. Just to let you guys know, there is a photographer on site, but I think they're doing more studio photographs than in the hall photographs. What I might do for the next round is go around and try to take some photos of my own, just to help there be some photos and video footage from the playing hall itself. And on board 3, there was a draw. Very nice draw, in fact. Player from Zimbabwe drawing against David from Egypt. And in the under 18 girls section, we had Jemima win her game against Hannah from Uganda.